Thymesia, God of War, Blasphemous, and Nioh 2, those are the 4 games I've played this month, and I will go in detail talking about them, comparing them to each other, and some other games perhaps. Review might be a bit shocking in some parts, so don't flame me for that. Alright then, let's get into it. Are you a fan of Bloodborne or Sekiro? Well, the first game on this list is a combination of those two. Their little baby, their little aggressive Lovecraftian horror baby that demands you to get good and stop crying like a little girlie and man up. Yes, I am indeed talking about one and only Thymesia. As soon as I laid my eyes upon the trailer of this game, something in my heart started itching to play it because it looked so interesting, so unique, yet so familiar. I can't describe the feeling when you are playing this game. It is something that you just have to experience for yourself, but I'll try to deliver as good of a description as possible. It is very depressing getting into this world, yet very calming. You are lost, don't know what to do, but this game leads you into its gameplay so smoothly. Atmosphere is majestically beautiful. And by what I said, you might be thinking that atmosphere of this game is its strong side, but no. It is actually its deep and engaging combat that makes this gem shine brighter than Antares. The combat is somewhat similar to Sekiro, but it has many differences. For example, 2 types of health bars, where you have to chip away enemies' shield first with your sword to be able to damage their real HP with your beastly grunting claw. You can also charge up your claw, which makes it so you can absorb enemies' attack skill. But then again, you can also have your own special skills, and there are many of them, and you can also upgrade them. Whilst upgrading them, you are gaining not just damage on them, but also new moves, which can be used situationally and very effectively. Enough talk about combat though, let's talk about enemies and bosses. There really is not much to say here, except that every single boss you fight is very well designed, fairly hard, and will make you pull your hair out and punch the hole in your monitor. But the feeling you get after beating them is exhilarating, your heart is pumping, and you are relieved you finally beat that boss, and you feel good about doing so. And normal enemies are all very balanced and fun to fight. I rarely skipped them while speeding back to old areas, and their variety is enough for you to not care about it, which is a plus in my book. Then we have level designs of this game. This game has 4 levels, and each level has around 4 to 5 sub-levels, and each and every level is very unique and memorable, especially the first one, my personal favorite in all of games I've played. Might be a bit biased, but hey, it's a great game, it really is. And game's graphics are on point in my opinion. You will not get Elden Ring or God of War level of detail, but it's still very good almost at their level, but art style compensates for it, so you shouldn't really worry about it. And optimization for this game is immaculate. I played on max settings, 60 FPS locked entire game, even though my PC is well kinda mid, and game also gives you an option to run at over 60 FPS if you wish to do so, which more games should be doing. Overall, Thymesia is very good game with great atmosphere and vibe to it. Great bosses and combat that will put you into a flow state, which, trust me, you will enjoy. This game is a recommendation from me without a doubt, especially if you liked something like Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. And since we are talking about combat right now, let me tell you about the game, which also blew me away with it. I really never expected God of War 2018 to have as good of a combat as it has. You have 2 different weapons, axe and blades of chaos. You can literally feel the weight of those 2 weapons when you are using them. To add to it, you have a skill tree for those 2 weapons, each weapon allowing you to use up to 2 skills. And if that is not enough of variety, you can also use your hands to deal posture damage a lot faster and do death blows to instantly kill normal enemies. Yes, you heard it right, God of War has posture meter as well. And also you can use your shield to attack with it, and parry or block and much more. Combat in God of War is amazing, is what I want to say, but if it was not for one thing, it's enemies. They felt too tanky, and the areas you fight them in are so tight. Someone is always sneaking to give you a kick in your dick from behind. And Kratos is a big boy who turns around slowly, which was annoying, but you have a quick turn button instead, which was, well, I doubt you will ever be using it all that much. Although finishers in God of War are worth suffering through all of that, since it isn't that big of a problem. Bosses in this game though, they are all amazing. Well, almost all of them. I'm looking at you, Kara, you sneaky little shite. In God of War you have Valkyries, which are like the hardest bosses in the game, and the first one I met is this little prick named Kara. She isn't that challenging all by herself, but what makes her so hard is that she summons an army of 5 simps that are so tanky that you will start questioning your sanity. And she keeps summoning her little minions throughout the entire fight. Also, fight lasts about 5 to 10 minutes, so good luck. Rest of the Valkyries are very good since they are actually 1v1s, and they are 9 Valkyries altogether in the game. They all share similar movesets. And as a Sekiro Godmaster 69 Deluxe Legend 27_1337, I blitzed through them like I was Flash, with Lava Valkyrie literally taking me only 2 tries. Yeah, that's kind of a flex, not gonna lie. Enough about Valkyries though, other bosses are all amazing, and the one I feel like is very underrated is that big dragon. It looked so organic, so real, like an actual dragon. And my favorite boss mechanically being Sigrun, which was not that hard after other Valkyries. What I wanna say is, Ishin, better, very good. Let's keep going. Okay, if Sekiro's fights put you in a flow state, God of War puts you into a crack-stat, sweaty, adrenaline, health-pumping state, which is amazing, but also very annoying. Every single boss in this game is very different from each other. For example, you have some that will blind you if you are directly looking at them, or some that will gank you, or golems that will have only one weakness, and that is when they are shooting lasers at you, you can throw an axe into their heart, and much more. Voice acting in this game though. Now, this one blew me away. This is the best voice acting I've ever heard in my life, in any game ever. For example, Kratos and Atreus, they did an outstanding job as well as other actors. You could literally feel Baldur's emotional pain while listening to him, which was amazing. And then at one point in the game, you get the head of this all-knowing guy who is telling his stories sometimes, which is such a vibe, to be honest. Mimir, he's a goat. There's not much to say, he's a goat. Let's talk about graphics for a second though. Graphics in God of War are the best ones I've seen in my entire life. They were out of this world. Hurts to say it, but it has even better graphics than Elden Ring. Elden Ring still got better art direction, so yeah. Story of God of War is very simple to understand, but there are so many plot twists, so much foreshadowing that will make you go, wow, that is genius. For example, why did Mimir give those arrows to Atreus, and why did Freya say they were arrows bearing evil? If you know what the reasons behind those actions are, it makes for an amazing little plot twist. And lastly, in terms of optimization, this was most shocking one for me. It has better graphics than Elden Ring, which made me think it would run worse. Like a 30 FPS perhaps, but no, that was not the case. It ran at 60 FPS at original settings for almost entire game. I think there were a bit of stutters, but I think it happened only like twice in the game, so it's not that big of a problem. This game is truly amazing and I would recommend it to everyone since, well, this is going to be a classic one day and I can already tell that. Oh, and one more thing. That one level with the mist and timer, yeah, that one. There she was ass and they should remove it. Alright, now I'm done with God of War now. Still 10 out of 10 game, though you should still play it. Hello, it's me from the future again. I just forgot to mention that opening chests in this game is so satisfying. You got a whole bunch of types of chests that look unique, and some of them he doesn't even open. Kratos just punches through them and takes what's inside of them. And while we are talking about badass main characters, let me tell you about the game that really shocked me. Alright, imagine the goriest game you have ever played, now multiplied it by 10,000. What you get is Blasphemous. Blasphemous is not the game for those with weak stomach. It was the goriest games I have ever played. But yet, it's such an elegant experience at the same time, which sounds weird, but it is the undeniable truth. I will try not to spoil too much and give you a short description of it. It has the atmosphere of Dark Souls, except it is 2D. Also, combat is smooth, and it has its own depth to it, with each upgrade being useful throughout the entire playthrough. Enemy designs are all perfect. You have a parry skill which allows you to do nasty finisher on all enemies. Bosses are all amazing and thrilling to fight, and the world is massive and immersive. Now you might get stuck in some places since I found it a bit hard to navigate, but that might just be the skill issue. Lore is amazing and complex. I would put it at the same level as Dark Souls 3, and there is always something to do in the game, so I would without a doubt recommend it if you like dark fantasy games that are also 2D. Final conclusion is that this game is surely one of the best 2D games ever made and will give you an unforgettable experience which you will be seeking for even after beating the game. And also, second game is being released early next year, so hop onto it before it becomes trendy so you can call yourself a true veteran. And last but not the worst is Nioh 2. I had mixed feeling on this game, and that is why I choose to talk about it last. Nioh 2 is a really good game, it really is, but that stance switching really turned me off, even after I got used to it. Combat in Nioh 2 is somewhat like combating Dark Souls, except much more developed, complex, nuanced. Okay, what I'm gonna say is that it has really good combat system, even better than one in the Dark Souls. Okay, now that we got that down, let me tell you about bosses. Each and every single boss is unique and has a special weakness. For example, Flamey Demon boss, you can splash him with water to deal more damage. Snake boss, chop her arms off to stun her faster and hit even harder. That big old boss, break her eye to stun her faster. Bosses are very good, level design is great, and story story is good, but highlight are the characters. They are all become due to you somehow. I don't know how the game pulls it off, but it does. Now let's talk about a bit of a tricky part of this game, and that is graphics. They are not that great, but I'd still say they are good enough since they did a good job on art direction. The game also runs at 60 FPS with no issues, even on lower end computers, which is a big plus. The reason I dropped this game is honestly because I just didn't feel like playing it. I got to like 80 to 90% through the game and stopped. Would I recommend this game? Well, if you have time and nerves to spend on it, you will like this game a lot since it really is good. But the game is about 50 hours long, which is amazing, so yeah, it is up to you really. By the way, it is nothing like Dark Souls or Sekiro for anyone wondering. It is a game of its own. And people who call it Souls-like haven't played anything other than Soulsborne. Yeah, that was a random those people. Don't at me. And now that we are done with that about wraps up this list of this month's games. And hey, recommend me some you would like to see get more attention and I will give it a try. Or at least I will try to. And also some people said that I shouldn't end my videos so suddenly, so see you guys in the next